Welcome back to Old Coin Adventures. Take a good look at the 1961 Lincoln penny you're holding. At first, it looks like just another old copper coin. Nothing special. Nothing that would make you stop and stare. But there's a reason collectors still pay attention to certain 1961 cents. And it has nothing to do with the number 1961 alone. The real clue could be hiding in one tiny detail. So small that you could hold this coin in your hand for years and never realize what you're looking at. And here's the interesting part. You don't need a perfect-looking penny. You don't need a coin that looks like it just left the mint. You need the right feature. Because on some 1961 D Lincoln cents, the mint mark itself can tell a completely different story. A tiny extra impression beneath the D can reveal that the mint mark was punched into the die more than once. And if you find the right variety, you may be looking at a coin collectors specifically recognize. So before you throw that old 1961 penny back into a jar, stay with me, because we're going to examine this coin from the beginning. I'll show you exactly what makes a 1961 cent interesting, where to look, what genuine mint-made doubling or repunching should look like, and how to avoid confusing a real variety with ordinary damage. And then we'll get to the question everyone wants answered. How much could a 1961 Lincoln cent like this actually be worth? And I'll also show you what certified examples have brought at auction, and what you should do if you think you've found the real thing. So keep that 1961 penny close, because the smallest detail on this coin may be the detail that changes the entire story. Before we talk about value, let's understand exactly what we're looking at. The 1961 Lincoln cent belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, with the familiar words, "In God we trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1961. The coin measures about 19 millimeters across and weighs approximately 3.11 grams. It was made from a bronze composition containing about 95% copper, with tin and zinc making up the remainder. And the edge is plain. But here's where your search becomes more interesting. Look underneath the date. Do you see a mint mark? If there is no mint mark, you're looking at a Philadelphia issue. But if you see a small D, that's a Denver mint coin. And that's important, because 1961 D cents have some interesting die varieties. The Denver Mint produced more than 1.75 billion 1961 D Lincoln cents, so the date itself certainly isn't rare. But collectors don't always search for a rare date. Sometimes, they search for a rare die variety. And this is where you want to slow down. Look directly at that tiny D. Don't just ask, is there a D? Does this D look completely normal? Because one documented 1961 D variety is known as AD over horizontal D, listed by PCGS as FS501. The unusual feature comes from a second mint mark impression, with part of the earlier horizontal D visible underneath the normal D. Now, that is very different from a scratch. A scratch happens after the coin is struck. A genuine repunched mint mark was created during the preparation of the die. That's why collectors care about the difference. So take your 1961 D penny, get a good light, and use magnification if you have it. Look at the D from different angles. Don't clean the coin. Don't scrape the mint mark. Don't polish the surface. And don't try to make a suspected secondary impression more obvious. Just observe it, because if something really is there, the next question isn't, does it look cool? The next question is, can we identify it? And that's where this ordinary-looking 1961 penny can become a real investigation. Now we've reached the part that gets interesting, the value. But here's something important. A 1961 penny is not automatically worth thousands of dollars just because it's old. And a strange-looking D doesn't automatically mean you've found the valuable variety. The coin has to match the recognized characteristics. It needs to be genuine, and condition can make an enormous difference. For example, PCGS lists an auction record of $4,406 for a 1961 D Lincoln cent graded MS67, while a regular Philadelphia 1961 cent has an auction record of $5,720 at MS67. Notice something important here. Those prices are for extremely high-grade certified coins. That does not mean an ordinary circulated 1961 penny in your hand is worth thousands. This is exactly why you should never judge your coin from the date alone. You have to identify the variety, check the condition, and compare it with actual certified examples. And if your 1961D appears to show that distinctive D over horizontal D feature, that's when professional attribution becomes worth considering. You could have the coin examined by a reputable grading service such as PCGS or NGC. And if the variety is confirmed, a certified example can be much easier to document and sell. But don't rush to sell it just because somebody online claims 1961 penny worth $5,000. Look for the exact variety. Look for the exact grade. Look for real auction records. Because the difference between a normal 1961 penny and a desirable 1961 D-die variety can come down to one tiny feature hiding inside the mint mark. And that's what makes old coin hunting so exciting. You don't always need to find a coin that looks spectacular. Sometimes, you need to find the coin that looks ordinary until you know exactly where to look. So take that 1961 Lincoln Cent one more time. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Zoom in. Look for that unusual secondary impression. And if you think you've found something, don't clean it. Don't damage it. Document it, compare it, and get it authenticated before making any big decision. Because that little penny may not be valuable simply because it says 1961. But if it carries the right variety, you may have found something collectors have been searching for. This is Old Coin Adventures. And remember, the next time you see an old penny, don't just ask how old it is, but what happened to it before it reached your hand.